No threat that America faces, no issue, no threat is too big for America to deal with if we deal with it as adults. Not terrorism, not the economy, not healthcare, not immigration. None of those issues are too big for America to deal with if we can deal with it as adults.
Once anything becomes a political issue, the idea of finding the best answer is out the window. Now we're just trying to win, right?
We have to get back to the point where we can debate again, where one side and the other side can talk. This is not a battle that can be won like that in some dramatic fashion. This is much more like a diet, where I'm asking everyone to go on a hate diet. And according to the American Diabetes Association, we are terrible at that kind of sustained discipline. It's not necessarily any individual issue, but the conversation that we have about those issues. That is what matters, and it matters a lot, and time is short.
We have the chance now to decide who America is going to be 500 years from now. That's our choice. If we don't intentionally choose, we're going to end up wherever we're going.
Consider the heart. 50% of your lifetime, it's in a state of extreme compression, pumping blood from your feet to your brain. I hope you all live to be 100, but what that means is that your heart will have spent 50 years in what's basically a full-blown cramp. The only way that's possible is that for the other 50 years, the other 50% of the time, it's in a completely relaxed state, absorbing the blood that will be pumped out on the next beat. If you spend your off time still partially mentally engaged with work, your recharge will be less effective, and over time you'll wear out or burn out. What does that look like? It's not a sudden event that happens between one day and the next. It's a slow erosion of your focus, your drive, the excellence that this job requires. We've talked about what trauma does to a person's brain. The chemicals and hormones that are released to help a person survive the event come at a cost. The rational thought is impaired, and memory in particular gets affected. A trauma-informed approach to the interview takes that chemical flood into account, understanding that garbled answers don't necessarily mean that you're being lied to, just that the victim is impaired and probably confused.
Important. You're making them important. When you're actively listening, when you're actively giving them your attention, it might be the first time it's ever happened. Nobody listens anymore. It's a hard thing to do to get somebody to listen.
But if they're calling you, it's entirely likely that they're at least partially motivated from this area where they are processing anger or fear or mistrust or any of those things. And it's not the most helpful to talk to somebody that is locked into their emotional part of their brain. You want to try to move into the prefrontal cortex. What they do for us is to help us act in the way that'll get us away from the saber tooth, whatever it is that's gnawing on our thigh bone, or get us out of the physical emergency, but it comes at a cost. Our brain does not function as well as it did before the emergency.